Hi, I'm Sarah.
And I'm Cassie, and we're doing our contrastive analysis on the Portuguese language.
Portuguese is an Indo-European language that was brought to the Iberian Peninsula by Roman soldiers in 218 BC. It is considered a Romance language, and the alphabet consists of 23 letters, leaving out the letters K, W, and Y. The Portuguese writing system is based on Latin and script and was written in the 9th century. Based on region, pronunciation of specific letters vary. For example, Brazilian Portuguese differs in grammar, vocabulary, and pronunciation compared to European Portuguese. An interesting fact about Portuguese is that there is a 90.3% literacy rate in Brazil.
Now we're going to talk a little bit about the analysis and comparison of linguistic features and some difficulties that Portuguese speakers may come across when learning English. Phonology is the knowledge of sound-symbol relationships in a language. Brazilian Portuguese is a syllable-timed language. This can lead to difficulty with intonation patterns. Portuguese contains 9 vowel sounds and 19 consonant sounds, which can lead to difficulties such as minimal pairs, for example, big and pig, unstressed end vowels, diphthongs and vowel sounds before, between, and after consonants.
Morphology is the study of structure of words. In Portuguese, you need to distinguish between two major word classes, variable and invariable. Variable words are words that vary in relationship to gender, number, degree, person, tense, mode, and voice. For example, the verb drink changes depending on tense, gender, and who is being spoken to. Verbs provide the greatest number of variation. Invariable words only take one form, which include adverbs, prepositions, conjugations, and interjections. Morphological differences can lead to more difficulty in English prepositions and use of conjunctions.
Syntax is the word order or grammar of the language. The verb system of English and Portuguese are very similar. The Portuguese word order is more flexible than English, such as in placements of adjectives, adverbs, and pronouns. This can lead to difficulty in English future tense, present perfect simple tense, and present perfect continuous tense. Portuguese speakers might also have difficulty with English interrogatives because of intonation differences. Some examples of interference mistakes are with English prepositions, single possessive pronouns, and question tags.
Semantics is the meaning of words in a language. In both Portuguese and English, experience and cultural references are most relevant to development. When evaluating Portuguese speakers' vocabulary knowledge, you should consider these factors. Word meanings vary based on the context. Vocabulary may be limited by how often English language learners are exposed to both the first language and the second language. Fake friends are words that look the same but have different meanings, and cognates are words that look the same but have the same meaning.
Pragmatics is the knowledge of how language is used differently in different situations. This is influenced by cultural knowledge, social expression, and body language and gestures. There are 6 major communication behavioral differences between Portuguese and English. When you, as the teacher, are addressing parents, refer to them by titles such as Mr. and Mrs. instead of by first name. It is common for Portuguese English language learners to start conversations with personal questions. Portuguese speakers are very detail-oriented with explanations or answers to questions. Children should not interrupt when adults are speaking. Children also avoid eye contact when talking to teachers or other adults. When Portuguese speakers are telling a story, the events might be out of order.
In vocabulary lessons, English and Portuguese share Latin roots. A classroom implication might include using cognate instruction, which can help develop vocabulary. As a tip, you can use visual aids in your classroom to support vocabulary and other academic development.
Concerning communication rules, turn-taking is extremely important to Portuguese speakers, and their communication style is very informal. Portuguese English language learners might talk in a higher tone of voice compared to native English speakers. Daily conversations are often loud, but loudness is not a sign of anger as it is in English.
When it comes to nonverbal behavior, general friendship is shown through light touching and close proximity when speaking to others. Brazilian Portuguese speakers often use direct eye contact. Brazilians have less sense of personal space, are physically expressive, and convey emotions through touch to show concern. Social standing indicates how you will appropriately address someone. The tone of a conversation will be cued by a person's physical environment.
Concerning underlying norms, Portuguese culture is influenced by collectivism, high context, high power distance, and feminism. Elements of collectivism in Portuguese culture include considering all extended family as the whole family group and placing importance on group consensus. Keeping group harmony by not telling the truth is seen as acceptable, and avoiding all confrontation is seen as rude. For example, instead of saying no, Portuguese speakers might say, well, maybe, and let's see. Portuguese culture values group identity compared to American culture valuing individual identity.
High context in Portuguese culture includes using more contextual based language, using shared experiences in conversation, and using vague communication to express emotional responses. High power distance in Portuguese culture places emphasis in differences between superiors and subordinates, as well as between those who are young and old, such as children being expected to be obedient to elders. Parents also expect teachers to be authoritarian and are usually not involved in the decision-making process of their child's education.
When it comes to feminism in the Portuguese culture, it is important to value people in society as well as have a high quality of life and nurturing environment and culture. Portuguese culture also focuses on social harmony and positive intrapersonal relationships. We hope our presentation and brochure helped to show the similarities and differences between Portuguese and English, and helps you as an educator to learn more about your students, families, and their culture. Thanks for watching!